With Cristiano Ronaldo's contract ending in a week, is there a possibility of wholesale changes at Al Nassr, which includes the addition of a former Real Madrid and Manchester United teammate? So let's talk about this Ronaldo situation and how this affects Manchester United. So Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Al Nassr. He's been there for about 2.5 years, but has only managed to win one trophy. Obviously, he's frustrated. He wants to win. He's already 40 years old, and doesn't have many years before he finally retires. So he wants some assurances from Al Nassr that, hey, you better make some changes that help me win some trophies. And I think one of the big dominoes fell today, which was, you can see it's mentioned by the Al Nassr official Twitter account, where they say they have informed Mr. Pioli and his staff are no more the acting coaching staff of the first team. And then this was quote tweeted by Ronaldo himself. As you know, if you've watched other sports or other teams with big personalities, they usually have a big say on who comes in and who goes. So now that the coaching staff is probably being taken care of in the background, what about his teammates? Now, all summer you might have heard of names being mentioned to Saudi Arabia, like Bruno Fernandes, Victor Osimhen, but Theo Hernandez. I think all these three players were being mentioned with Al Hilal, and they are one of the rivals of Al Nassr. So who is Al Nassr going after? Actually, I haven't heard of any names other than Casemiro. Now, Casemiro is a player that is currently with Manchester United. He likes it there. He was out of form at the beginning of last year, but then towards the end of the year he got into form, and he was playing a lot of games, especially in the Europa League. Now Saudi Arabia have been trying to get Casemiro to their league for quite some time, but obviously it's been hard because Casemiro has been focused on staying in the Premier League and trying to get into the Brazil squad. He is now in the Brazil squad, but is that contingent of staying within the Premier League, or can he go to the Saudi League and still play in Brazil? Who knows? But this is what Ben Jacobs had to say about Casemiro. Casemiro is very aware that the Saudi Pro League want him after previous approaches. However, at the moment it's described as a soft contact to see if the player has changed his mind. No club has been allocated to him. Then he also mentioned that Al Nassr wants to show ambition in the market to get Ronaldo to extend his contract, which runs out in a week, and he wants them to move in the market. However, at this stage, there's nothing advanced nor close with Casemiro. I think this is a good news for Manchester United, because Manchester United like Casemiro, but they like him as a backup position. So right now, Casemiro cannot play 38 games in the Premier League. So they need an able-bodied player who can give them 38 games and possibly all the cup games. Plus, Casemiro is on crazy wages, which is about 350k per week at Manchester United. So Manchester United want to get rid of his wages out of the books, because that helps them go out to the market and get other players in. Now, obviously, that depends on Casemiro because he's under contract, and if he decides to stay, then he stays, and there's nothing Manchester United can do about it. So, with this, I think Ronaldo might convince Casemiro to come over, because I think that Casemiro realizes that, hey, in 1 year's time, the World Cup is going to start. I need to play in that World Cup because that's possibly his last World Cup. And if he stays in Manchester United, there's a good chance that he won't be able to play a lot of the games, because I don't think the manager played him a lot in the Premier League. He did get a lot of games in the Europa League, but not in the Premier League. So does he want to take that chance, stay at Manchester United and come off the bench possibly in some games and then just stay completely on the bench for the other games, or go to Saudi Arabia, where he will be a focal point on that team and get in a lot of game time, and then possibly be ready for the World Cup. It all depends on what happens, but if anything, Manchester United should nudge him in that direction and just give him the options, have a conversation with him. Because if Ruben Amorim feels that Casemiro can contribute to this team, especially next season when Manchester United is not playing in Europe, then yes, hold on to him. But just watching what happened last season, I don't think he's going to play a lot of games. So it's a waste of time for him to sit on the bench at Manchester United, where when he can go to Saudi Arabia and get equivalent or much higher wages, and plus get an extended contract as well. So who knows what will happen, but hopefully there will be some clarity in the near future, because it's rumored that Ronaldo is going to sign his new contract, and these outgoings, especially the coaching staff, was already put into place a few weeks ago. And I think the incomings going to also be, Saudi Arabia is probably trying really desperate to get these incomings in as well, because after trying for Bruno Fernandes and getting rejected, and then Victor Osimhen and getting rejected, I'm sure they want some deals to go through. Let's see what happens, and hopefully Casemiro is a player in Saudi Arabia, and Manchester United can then just go into the market and get some more young midfielders in. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, as it helps other people find this content. Thank you.